The wind whispered eerie secrets as I ventured deeper into the woods, the overgrown path obscured by the dense canopy above. The moon hung low, casting a feeble glow that barely penetrated the gnarled trees. An unsettling chill crept down my spine, but curiosity outweighed fear, urging me forward. I had heard the chilling legends, the tales that had echoed through generations, of a sinister presence that dwelled within the heart of the forest. They called her the Horror Nun, a malevolent spirit that preyed upon those who dared to seek her out. Her gaunt figure cloaked in tattered, blood-stained habits, her eyes sunken and hollow, and her laughter a haunting symphony that lingered long after her victims were gone. Against the warnings of my friends and family, I felt an inexplicable compulsion to confront this terror. My camera dangled around my neck, a tool to capture proof of her existence, to unveil the truth behind the folklore. With every step, the air grew thicker, a palpable tension that seemed to materialize from the very shadows. The rustling leaves and distant cries of night creatures became an eerie symphony, setting my nerves on edge. My flashlight danced along the gnarled roots and twisted underbrush, illuminating fleeting glimpses of the unknown. As I pressed on, a dilapidated structure emerged from the darkness, the rumored site of the Horror Nun's unholy abode. The chapel, long forgotten by time, stood before me like a sentinel of forgotten sorrows. The wooden door creaked open with a mournful groan, revealing an interior bathed in moonlight's ethereal glow. I stepped over the threshold, my breath hitching in my throat. The air was thick with a musty scent, mingling with an underlying tinge of decay. Dust motes danced in the moonbeams that filtered through broken stained glass windows, painting the scene in a macabre tapestry of light and shadow. My heart raced, each beat a reminder of the vulnerability that gripped me. But I steeled my resolve, summoning the courage to explore further. The chapel's interior was adorned with remnants of its past glory. Crumbling pews, shattered religious icons, and faded frescoes that once depicted scenes of divine beauty. Now they bore the marks of desolation, their splendor reduced to fragments of history. As I crept through the chapel, my ears caught a faint sound, a soft and haunting melody that hung in the air like a whispered lament. The chant seemed to beckon from the darkness beyond an arched doorway. I followed the sound, my footsteps hushed as if walking on sacred ground. The room beyond was shrouded in an unsettling silence, broken only by the sound of my own breath. There, beneath the feeble light of a flickering candle, she stood, the Horror Nun. Her visage was as described in the tales, emaciated and clad in ragged, blood-soaked robes. Her face, a visage of suffering and malevolence, bore eyes that glowed with an otherworldly intensity. I raised my camera, my fingers trembling against its cold metal surface. This was the moment I had sought, the evidence that would lay bare the truth of the legends. With a deep breath, I snapped a photograph, the flash momentarily blinding me. As the light faded, my heart sank. The Horror Nun was no longer before me. Instead, her presence was felt as a chilling breath against the nape of my neck, her icy fingers tracing a path down my spine. Panic surged within me as I whirled around, finding myself face to face with the very embodiment of my nightmares. Her laughter, a cacophony of echoing torment, filled the chamber. I stumbled backward, my voice caught in my throat, my camera slipping from my grasp and clattering to the floor. The room seemed to close in around me, the walls adorned with grotesque images that twisted and writhed, as if alive. Her voice, a venomous whisper, slithered into my mind. "You seek to expose me, mortal, to capture my essence for your world to see." I could only manage a feeble nod, my mind a maelstrom of terror and confusion. "Then you shall become part of my eternal gallery," she hissed, her voice laced with sadistic glee. With a wave of her skeletal hand, the walls seemed to reach out, tendrils of darkness coiling around me. I screamed, but my cries were swallowed by the suffocating void. The world spun into a nightmarish whirlwind, reality and nightmare merging into a horrifying tapestry of agony. And then, as suddenly as it began, the darkness receded. I found myself sprawled on the chapel floor, my body trembling, the candle still flickering beside me. The Horror Nun was nowhere to be seen, but her malevolent presence lingered, a suffocating weight that hung in the air. I scrambled to my feet, my heart pounding like a drum. I fled the chapel, the haunted whispers of her laughter echoing in my ears, driving me onward. The woods seemed to stretch endlessly before me, an unending labyrinth of shadows and terror. I emerged from the forest gasping for breath, my mind a whirlwind of fear and disbelief. The horrors I had witnessed defied all reason, challenging the boundaries of reality itself. The Horror Nun, a nightmarish specter born from the depths of human imagination, had revealed herself to me in all her malevolent glory. Though I escaped her clutches physically, the scars she left upon my soul would forever haunt my dreams. The legends were true, and I, a foolhardy seeker of truth, had paid the price for my curiosity. The Horror Nun would forever remain an indelible part of my existence, a chilling reminder that some terrors are best left undisturbed, lurking in the shadows of our nightmares.